Hi, Round Lake families. I'm Jen Wells, Social Emotional Learning and Student Development Coordinator for the district. How are you doing? Do you know that we're already in October, right? 7 months. Who would have figured 7 months and we're at home still doing e-learning and we're doing okay. We're getting through this. We're coming up with plans. We're coming up with routines. Is it ideal? No. But you know what? We're strong and we're getting through this together. So let's go back to emotions. So every couple weeks, I talk about the emotions and how students are able to identify them and put names to them. How's your student doing on that? Are they able to let you know when they're happy, when they're sad, when they're frustrated? When you're reading a book, do you talk about how the characters in the book might be feeling and have your child try to figure out, I think they're feeling happy because the picture shows him smiling. Those types of activities and just quick questions when you're reading books with your children are just strong ways that you can embrace SEL, the social emotional learning, and just help your students to realize that emotions are all around us. So once they're able to identify their emotions, then we start talking about, are they able to come up with strategies that help them to regulate their emotions when they have really strong emotions? The strong emotions can be when they're super, super excited about something and their body's all moving around. Or they could have really super strong negative feelings where they're super sad and they're punching things. Again, emotions are great. But what we want to do is we want to make sure that we have strategies in our pockets so that if we're really, really happy and it's a time where we need to be a little bit calm, we have a strategy we can use. And if we're really, really angry and mad and frustrated, that we have a strategy that we can use to help calm us down as well. So think about it. Do your students know how to take deep breaths? Are they playing with a fidget? Do they doodle and color? Are they walking around? Those are different strategies that they can use in order to help them calm the strong emotions. So when we're thinking about this, are there certain triggers for your child? Something where you're sitting there and you're like, oh, getting ready for school in the morning, knowing that they're going to have an assessment, knowing that they are getting ready for lunch, or that they have to go back to school after lunch. These are all specific activities where your students might have those triggers of strong emotions. So I wanted to put together a little graphic organizer for you that looks like this. So it's called the Emotional Planner, and you have your activity, the emotion, and then the strategies. And so if you look at this one, I just took assessments because I don't know about you, but I can tell you that when I was in school, assessments, it didn't matter what it was, it always made me nervous and I would start sweating, my hands would get clammy. So what we want to do is we want to help our students to figure out, label what the activity is. So for me, it was assessments. And then the emotions that went with it. I was anxious, I was nervous, I was stressed out. I wanted to make sure that I did my best. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this? And if I didn't have a strategy, I would start spiraling out of control. So we want to make sure that we're providing our students with those strategies. So some of the strategies are, I know a lot of our teachers are doing Calm Classroom, and those are those breathing activities and stretching activities, and just to help calm the body. That's all it is. And that in itself can help bring those super anxious and super big emotions and calm them down. The other thing is to get a drink of water. Drinking water helps to hydrate the body, because sometimes when your body gets dehydrated, then it's not working properly and you don't have all of the oxygen that you need when you want your brain to function. And then another one is making sure that you're prepared for an assessment. So making sure you're reviewing your materials with a parent or with a classmate. So then I started thinking, well, when else would a student potentially have strong emotions? So I came up with getting ready for school. I have a teenager and he loves his bed. He loves to sleep. So getting up in the morning is stressful. He just doesn't like to do it. So I would have him fill out one of these as one of his categories. Another activity is going back to school after lunch. You have this freedom for half an hour. You've got the food. The food is helping your body process. You've got all this energy. And now you have to sit back down and you have to rethink and you have to focus. So what strategies can you use? So I suggest that you make this chart, work with your student to come up with when do they feel their emotions are the strongest. Positives, negatives, it doesn't matter. Emotions are emotions. So then once you've listed your activities, then have them tell you what emotions do they feel and list those. And then you're going to want to come up with some strategies. So if you know that right after lunch, you're so full of energy and you've got all this excitement going through you, but you're also kind of bummed because you have to go back to school, what is a strategy that you could use to get you to refocus? Maybe it's do a quick drawing and you just have scratch paper and you just scribble, 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 scribble. What's going to work for your child? So I challenge you this week to create an emotion planner that has activity, emotions, and strategies. Let me know how that works for you. Have a great week.